Welcome to the Better Off Bonus Call of the Week. We're sponsored by Betterment, the largest independent online financial advisor. I love these little short questions that we can answer for you. 2 chances every week to get on the air. This bonus call of the week we drop on Tuesdays, but you might listen to it whenever. And then after the longer show on Thursdays, we've got another opportunity for you to get on the air with us. The easiest way to contact us is to send an email. Ask Jill at betteroffpodcast.com. That's Ask Jill at betteroffpodcast.com. That is what Bob did. He is calling from Philadelphia, one of my favorite cities, because I do love a cheesesteak. Okay, quick question off the top, Bob. Best cheesesteak in Philly? I think that there are 3 main choices. Which is your favorite?
Oh, I know what you're thinking. Pat's, Gina's, or Jim's, but I'm going to go with Delisandro's.
All right.
Got it. Best, absolutely, hands down.
All right. Mark, get that down. We got to go to Philly soon. Okay, so, Bob, what can I do for you today?
Jill, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. This is a real treat. The question I have is I'm trying to protect my downside as I look ahead to not retirement, but what my next opportunity is. I've been with the same company for about 30 years. Mm-hmm. They do not have a pension, but I've been saving in a 401k, and now I'm just concerned that if there's something that occurs like in 2008, I don't want to see half of it disappear and then have to, work until I'm 75.
I hate that idea also. It's so funny because I've been doing some research about 10 years ago in the financial crisis, and you raise a fantastic point, which is I think before the financial crisis in 2008 hit, a lot of people who were nearing retirement were just enjoying the bull market. And since then, I think we all have maybe retooled our expectations about what it means to retire and also the risk that we take. So I think this is a great opportunity to ask that question. So tell me about yourself and the money you have, kind of the general situation. How old are you, married, all that fun stuff?
Sure. Okay. I am 56 years old. I am married. I have 3 kids. My current salary is $150,000. Okay. I'm in the ice cream business. My wife is a nurse. She makes $50,000 working part-time, 3 days a week. We have no debt to speak of. We've put 2 kids through school already, with a third waiting to go in 2 years. And then as far as retirement monies are concerned, I have $600,000 in a 401k. She has $200,000 in a 403b. We have a combined Roth of $125, and then other investments of $125, with $40,000 in cash. Then we have some money set aside in a 529 for number 3. And then, like I said, no debt. House is paid for. But I'm in a place where the folks in my office, there's a group of guys that are about 10 years older than me, mm-hmm. that were really impacted by what happened 10 years ago, mm-hmm. and they've had to delay moving on. And I just look at those guys, and they're struggling because what they thought they had disappeared, and they've been kind of working back over that period of time. So that's kind of what is making me ask these questions.
Yeah, I think that's very smart of you. How much longer do you think you are likely to work, Bob?
I would like to work in this particular job probably for another 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
And then transition into something that I know will pay far less. Mm-hmm. I've done some volunteer work. I'm not looking to give up the salary entirely, mm-hmm. but I am looking into. I've worked already with some organizations that I know that I could, get into, but would pay about a third of what I'm making.
Okay, so if I looked forward, if I said in 3 or 4 years, let's just call it 4 years, and your wife also in her mid-50s?
My wife, yes, she's 54.
Okay. So if we looked at, 4 or 5 years from now, and you went from making 150 to 50, right?
Yes.
And your wife, would she continue to work part-time also? So could we look at, say, having you guys make $100,000 a year or so together until you reach your full retirement age for Social Security purposes?
Yes,
Okay, great. And your wife is part-time, but she's a nurse, so do you get your benefits through her?
correct.
Okay, great. If you guys made 100 grand a year, would that be enough after, because I'm thinking also after college, right? Would that be enough to kind of float your general expenses?
Oh yeah, not a problem.
Fantastic. All right. So now we get into the fun stuff. So you've already saved $1 million for retirement, a little bit more. You've got other money that's set aside, which is great. My question to you is, how is your money currently invested?
Okay. I am 75% in stocks and 25% in bonds. And I just recently changed that only because I did a couple of different analysis through various websites, and it kept on coming back to that type of allocation.
Okay.
So that's where I am right now.
Where were you prior to doing this?
I was 90-10.
Okay. So here's my question to you. Let's presume in the next 5 years that, you're going to keep putting money away. And also let's presume in the next 5 years that there will be a bear market and there will be a recession. So let's talk about those individually. If you looked at like, hey, there's a recession, are you at risk to lose your job?
No.
No. Okay, good. Obviously, people still get sick during recessions, so being a nurse is a good job. If you looked at your total portfolio, which has probably been scorching fantastic for the last, obviously 10 years or so, if you saw your $1 million go to 800, could you prevent yourself from selling?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Does your wife have a similar risk appetite as you?
She does. And the one thing that's been interesting is that, again, as you reach 55, it's kind of started to moderate, where we were high risk, and then all of a sudden we just said, okay, we need to kind of take our foot off the pedal a little bit, and that's why that's 75-25. But yeah, we're probably, jumping. If I lost 20%, that's not a problem. I'm concerned about that
50.
Huge drop.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, if you think about it, let's pull the clock back. It is now the fall of 2007. You call me up and you say, well, this bull market's been going on for a while, this housing stuff. I'm going to retire in 10 years. What do you think? And probably at that time, and the same advice I would give now is like, 75-25 is not bad. It's like, honestly, you have a riskier portfolio than I have because I don't like risk. To me, it's not that I would sell if the market were down 20%, but I don't get enough joy of like the incremental upside against the downside. I just hate losing. So if you had been 2007 and you wrote it out and you were 75-25, and then a year and a half later, your $1 million would be worth 550, but you're still working, right? And that 550 you don't touch. You literally say, I'm not changing my allocation. This sucks, but it's nothing's happening that's different. Okay. What would change in your life? Number one is you probably would not feel comfortable downshifting 3 or 4 years later. You probably would feel like I'm going to work as hard as I can for as long as I can till I get back up to that $1 million number and then some, right? And you recover and things are going great, right? The problem with the allocation as it stands right now is not that it'll blow up your whole retirement, because it probably won't. It's that you may feel uptight if something bad happens in the economy, if something bad happens in the markets that leads to an outcome that would change your forward progress towards this different game plan. So if you feel like that 3 to 4 year goal of kind of downshifting is really important, then I would say to you, I think you're still taking too much risk.
Okay.
All right. So again, I am telling you this because I am a wimp. Right?
I'm becoming a wimp.
Oh my God!
Okay. And I'm okay with that.
Exactly. I would say that if you don't want to do it, let's think about the money that you're going to access and in what order you would access it. Right. So the money that's a non-qualified investment, right, and just a plain old investment account, not retirement, not Roth, right? I would say that is definitely a candidate for a 60-40. Okay. Then the next would be your deferred accounts. And I would say that would be a candidate to go, I don't know, maybe 65-35 or maybe 70-30. Okay. And then the Roth accounts, I think you can keep pressing down the accelerator because it's the last money that you're going to access. So that to me, I'm fine with you being 75-25. But I would just pull back the risk a little bit. And what are you giving up at this point? I mean, let's be honest. You have had a tremendous, unbelievable performance over the last decade. It's been amazing, right?
Correct.
So why are we risking that for another few percent or even 10%? Let's say that like the market goes up from here another 15%. But by changing your allocation, you only get 9 of that 15%. That's great. That 9 is fine. You just don't want to blow it. And you're in the I don't want to blow it phase.
So you would recommend the 65 in equities and then 35% in bonds?
Yeah. Boring. Completely boring.
No, that's good. I'm looking at 60-40 even because, like I said, I want to be boring.
Listen, Mark will tell you I may be the single most wimpy investment person you've ever met. And part of that is because I really have great respect for risk and I have great respect for what it feels like to lose a lot of money. And therefore, it's like swimming in the ocean. God, it's great. I swim in the ocean. It's so amazing. And you go in one day, it's a little bit rough. You're like, yeah, I'm a good swimmer. I can swim in the ocean. It's fine. And then you get clocked by a wave. And you walk out and you say, holy smokes, that is dangerous in there. I remember now, it's dangerous. That's what a bear market feels like. And as you get older, the way you walk out of that water really does change. And so you've done an incredible job of saving you and your wife, get this kid through college, execute your plan, downshift, work like it's so much fun and you love getting up in the morning and make your 50, let her make her 50, kids are okay. Be mindful of the risk you have in your portfolio and then run out the clock and have fun. That's amazing.
That's great.
Right.
I appreciate it very much. This is, you've been helpful and you're helpful every week.
Oh, well, thank you so much. By the way, I am a great fan of ice cream. So let me just be clear to you. What I love is I love any coffee or mocha-based ice cream. I put that to you just so I put it out there. You never know when we might meet, okay?
I hear you.
All right, man. Take care. Good luck.
Thanks very much. I appreciate it.
Okay, that's a wrap of our Better Off bonus question of the week. If you've got a question, it's simple. Send us an email at askjill@betteroffpodcast.com. We'll arrange to get you on. And don't forget, in just a couple of days, there's a brand new episode of the Better Off Podcast sponsored by Betterment. Talk to you then.